Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Let us thank God for all the graces we receive continually. All the graces we receive materially and spiritually. Let us ask God to appreciate everything we receive from His bounty. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and in the hour of our death. Amen. Mary, seat of wisdom,
Pray for us.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
So this morning we study a very, very important subject, the human person. In fact, it's the center of the program for this semester, is the human person. Now we have all the elements necessary to be able to reflect on the human person. We have the knowledge, we study knowledge, we study appetite, free will and sense appetite. We study the habit, last week. What is the habit? You remember? The acquired, operational structure. So, acquired because we are not born with that capacity of producing some activities. Operational, it is a structure added to my power. I have many powers. For example, the power to smell, to see, the power to use my memory, my imagination, power, intellectual power, etc. Those powers are, of course, the power of my I, myself, my substance. But those powers, they have a special activity, to attain a special object. You remember that, etc. And to be able to do that, they must acquire a structure. For example, if you want to read, you have to acquire the habit of reading. If you want to write, you must acquire the habit of writing, etc., etc. So the habit is the structure added to the power to produce. So we have now all we need to reflect on the human person. In fact, the title of the book of Father Reichmann is Philosophy of the Human Person. So this morning we study what is a human person. And after that, we will go further to know what is life. We're studying life, also we speak about the soul. And finally, where is that coming from? The origin, the origin. Because philosophy is searching for the ultimate causes, ultimate causes. So, the first paragraph, the human as an individual, is the summary of the precedent chapter. Summary. So, I go to second page, number 6, at the top of the page. The individual is not constituted of habit. But what I told you last class, those habits are not constituted myself. Why? Because first, I am acquiring them, so I can progress, but also I can regress. Or I can change my habit, I can be a gangster and become a saint. So instead of a bad habit, acquire a good habit, etc. So the habits are not my person, are not my person, but they are attached to my person. And those habits attached to my person, they constitute my personality. You'll see the difference, My personality depends on my habits, what I acquire. As a person, I have the power here. Every person has the power to understand, intellect, will, senses, we have that. But what makes the difference between every individual, every person, it is the fact we don't develop our habit the same manner. We don't have the same personality. We are different because we have we have many different qualities. Huh? We have many different category of being. If you want, being in us is not exactly, the mode of being are not exactly the same. Huh? Our quantity is not the same. Our quality is not the same. Virtues, etc. Our religion are not the same. For example, my relation to my father and mother are not the same. Because my father and my mother are not your father and your mother, you know. So we are different by our personality, but we are the same through our person. Person. That is what we have to speak this morning about that. So consequently, on number 8, the individual is the ultimate subject. But that means all that, all those habits I have, all those activities are in I. So I am the subject, the ultimate subject, as individual. As individual. It's the same for a dog and a cat. They are individual. But there is a difference. Will I call my cat a person?
No.
No. Why I call man a person? I will not call my cat a person. Because I am intelligent and free. I am intelligent and free. My cat is not intelligent. Oh, of course, I think he's intelligent. Yes, he's not totally stupid. He knows how to roll after marks. But don't ask him to do other things. He cannot produce ice cream. Understand? So he is not a person. A person, we see now, is an individual, but with certain power that make a pact. So the individual is the subject of those activities. I am the subject of those powers, and through those powers perfected by habit, I have different activities, and all those activities attain different objects. Okay? So I continue. So acquired habit does not possess the individual. The individual possesses. In fact, the word habit, I told you last class, habeo in Latin, it is the origin of habitum, habitum, means to have, to possess, to have. We possess habit, but habit does not possess us. If a habit possesses us, me, I am the slave of that habit. I am not free. In fact, look, think about drunkenness. What is drunkenness? It is when the habit possesses the subject. the alcohol controls the man, and not men control the users of alcohol. So we possess habit, but we should not possess by habit. That means we are reasonable and free. Okay? So rather, the individual possesses. We are perfected, qualified by habit, and those habits, don't forget, they are virtues. When they are about intellect and will, about the intellect and the will, we call them virtues. Those habits, we possess that, they qualify us, they perfect us, they make us a better personality, but be careful, they don't constitute ourselves. We are not constituted by habit. We are qualified. You see the difference between substance and accident. The substance is I, the person is the substance. But the quality is the habit, qualification, relation, etc. They are in the substance, they are not the substance. So, that leads us to the human person. Why we speak about individual? Because if we speak about individual, I did not begin to speak about the human person, strictly speaking. Because the individual is the foundation, if you want, of the human person. You remember the principle of individuation? I explained that, Individuation. We are different, not because we have our intellect and will. By our soul we are in the same, It is our specific difference. We have difference not by matter, but by quantified matter. So my quantified matter makes me an individual. Individual. But individual can be anything. For example, a cat is an individual. A dog is an individual. And this desk is an individual. When we speak about the human person, we should not use the word individual. Because individual is pejorative, it's for anything. When you say a man is an individual, you, you take man at the level of your cat. Huh? A man is a human person. And that is the subject we have now to study. Huh? The human person. And that human person has a special name, person, and not individual. Why? Because the human being is totally apart the rest of creation. Totally apart. What makes us totally apart? We saw that before, by our intellect and our free will. You know, what we studied before, when I studied with you at the intellect, and we already saw that through our intellect we transcend the creation. Through our will we transcend. We have the mastering of our action. We can control matter, etc. So that means we are different, above. And that is what we affirm now is the fruit of the reflection we did about our way of knowing and our way of taking decision, our intellect and our will. Because we are endowed with those faculties, we are spiritual, therefore we are different from those who are not spiritual. Okay? So we have our intellect and volition, and we have the power of reflection, the power we call conscious. We can reflect. To reflect, we must detach. So we detach from matter through our knowledge, and we detach from matter through our free will. I am not the slave of matter. Because I am free, I can say no. I can control, self-control. And my intellect, I can abstract, I can detach from matter to have a concept. In fact, the person, the characteristic of a person is to be intelligent and to have a free will. That is characteristic. Okay? And we are aware, because we are intelligent and we are free, we are aware of our activities and we are responsible for our activities. Did you ever heard about prison for cats? If a cat did some, or a dog ate, for example, on the mission where I was, the cook prepared meals and he left the door open and my dog, our dog entered the kitchen and he did something, he rubbed our food, our meat. Were we able to send him to jail? There is no jail for animals, no? Yeah, we can kill them. Now, in fact, no. Because they are not intelligent and they are not free. They follow their instinct, estimative. They follow their instinct. Okay. So I continue here. Humans also understand and are reflective conscious of our own sensing. Not only we control our behavior through our choice and decision, freedom, the will, free will, but we are aware of this control through our consciousness. So not only we have the control, but we know that we have the control. Not only we know what is a thing, but we know that we know there is a thing. And that power is the power of reflection. Not only we know, but we know that we know. When you were 3 years old, you know what was a cat, what was a dog. You know what was a chocolate or what was your bed. Go to bed when they go to bed, you know. But you did not know that you know. You were not able to reflect. And when you are able to reflect on what you did, you use the pronoun I. And when you use the pronoun I, you are reasonable. And you are also responsible. And now you will be punished. Or you will receive a recompense for your good conduct. Okay? So we know we can reflect on what we do, and not only that, we can reflect on the purpose of what we do. We can reflect on our intention, our why, our motivation. So we are no animal can reflect on his motivation. When the cat jumped on a mouse, he does not reflect on this necessity for him to go hunting because he must feed his own belly and maybe his little mice. No, he follows his instinct. He has no choice. Huh? But we have a choice. We can know what we do. We can reflect on also why we do that. And that concept, and that part of we studied this morning is linked with ethics. Because ethics imply the consciousness before and after. Antecedent conscience and consequent conscience, our act. And we can do that. Okay, next page. Excuse me. Therefore, only man can be called a person. I spoke about that. And that is the immanent dignity of man. Man is apart from the rest of the creation. Man is above everything. We can say one person, one human person, is higher than all the galaxies in the world. Because not a single galaxy can think. Not a single galaxy can change its destiny. Man can think, man can orient, can lead, can guide his own destiny. For example, you are here. You are here because you are responsible of your destiny. You want to become a priest, or you want to become a teacher, or you want to have a diploma. You are here for that, you know. We are the master. You know, the even thing about that, the immanent dignity of the human person. Sometimes we forget that. We are in the universe, of course. We are in the universe. We need the universe to eat, to be warm, to be protected against the element, against storm, rain, snow. But at the same time, we are above. We have a power making us above. It is our spiritual power of thinking and thinking free decision. And that is the reason why every person is in itself a value, almost infinite. Why? Because open to all truth and to all good. Think about that. We must respect every person because every person is an immanent dignity. Putting that person above all the rest. And what is a sin or immoral action? When we reduce, because our own will at the level of animal or at the level of material thing, you know. Okay? So only a person can know who he is or who she is. We have the reflective power, the power of reflection. And when a child can go to, can be accepted to do his first communion, when he is able to reflect, power of reflection, age of reflection. That means he can identify himself as an I, and he can apply to his I his own action. He is responsible. I am free, and because I am free and intelligent, I am responsible. And that is the age of reason. At that time you can receive the Holy Communion. Before you are not ready because you don't know what you do. Okay? So only man is able to trace his activity back through reflection. A cat, when he kills a mouse, 3 days after he will not say, oh, I should not, poor mouse, oh, actually, no, I regret, no. A cat is not linked with the past. We are linked with the past because we are, have memory, of course, memory, but also because we are intelligent. We can analyze the past and to use the past to prepare the future. We call that cogitative. You remember that? Huh? But even at the level of my senses, but my intellect is able to use the past. So, in fact, continually we reflect. Yesterday I received a wonderful series of pictures and documents from Brother Glenn. He said, we can use that for your class. It is how the human body, the human brain, how it functions. It's incredible. And when you think about it, you say, it's a mad. We cannot realize how we are a complex reality. And you know what is interesting? We know now that we are a complex reality. Never a mouse will be able to do that. But man is able not to know the detail of his brain. So we have an imminent power, and that power makes us above all the rest. And when God says in the Bible, that is not philosophy. He said, I give you the dominion over. Why we have the dominion? Because, not because we have muscle, because we are intelligent and free. Otherwise, only the lion will be the king. No, we are intelligent and free. Okay? So next, and that person, in fact, is in the eye. The eye we saw before, and the subject of all habit, of all activities, that subject is the one who is underlying the subject of that quality or reality of being a human being. When I will not say my intellect think, I will say I think, no? I will not say my will decide. Did you say that? No, I decide. Through my will, of course. I decide through my intellect. But I decide. So finally, the person is here. The person is my substance as intelligent and free. And that is the ultimate subject of understanding and willing. That means all my action as thinking, all my action as willing, all that finally are attributed to the I. Because the I is the subject using the power, perfecting its power through habit and adding its activity. But how I can know that I, that individual, that person, I will know through his activity. I know through activity. He can laugh. Bartholomew de Los Casas, these angels are intelligent. He can write, he is charitable, etc. He has a good heart, and he is virtuous, etc. So, just after that, the use of the word I. I is the smallest letter in the alphabet. In Greek, it is iota, iota. It is that letter in Greek. Is the smallest. But in English we say. But in fact, imagine you represent a person excessively complex with one letter. In French, je, two letters. In Spanish, yo, two letters. In English, think about that. That means the individual here is the subject of that. Because it's the subject of activities that are intelligent, activities that are free, we call that a person. So, and what is that I? That I is my substance. Substance. And because I live, that substance is subsistent. I have a subsistence. I subsist. I continue to exist. As long as I continue to exist as intelligent and free, I am a person. And as person, every man, every woman on earth are equal. No person is more a person than another person. You know, interesting. Here I make a parenthesis. I'm not a theologian, but sometimes I can reflect. You know, in mystery of the incarnation, and St. Paul says, in Philippians, he says, that he was of the divine status, huh? But he humiliated him and become like us. He become an I. No? And when Jesus speak about it, what he say? I. And when God speak to Moses, what he said? I. That means the foundation of all the rest is my I. And as I, we are in the same person. We are the same person or the same personhood, the quality of person. Okay, and that I differ. Not a cat cannot say I. No, only man can, or angel can say I, and God. But as a human being, only man can say I, because man is able to reflect on his own activity and attribute to it. Everything I do is attributed to my I, to my person. But the question is, your I, or your person, my I, are they exactly the same? Yes and no. They are the same as a personhood. Yes. But do we have the same experiences in life? No. Do we have the same activities? Do we have the same habit? No. No. Oh, we can have, but not at the same degree. Huh? So therefore, we are not exactly the same. So we don't differ as person. As person, we have the same human right. But we differ as personality. We are different by personality. And personality, don't forget, it is acquire. Huh? Acquire. We acquire a personality. And my personality can change. For example, Jorge Borgelio, he studied chemistry. After that, he became a Jesuit. And he became a bishop. Now he's a pope. Can we say his personality changed?
No.
No? So to be a pope or to be a student in chemistry is the same thing?
The same.
Ah, the personality changed, but the person is the same. When he says, my grandmother, when I was young, with my grandmother Rosa, is the same. When he says, I am the vicar of Jesus Christ, the same I. So the person does not change, but the personality changes. Okay? That is important. Why? Because if the person changes, so your human rights will change. But the human right, your right don't depend on your personality, depend on your person. You know, otherwise, those who have higher rank in the society, they will have superior right to those who were lower. It was what existed in some countries before some revolution. No, in fact, we are not, our dignity, fundamental dignity is not in our personality. Our fundamental dignity is in my person. The quality of being a human being, of being intelligent and free. And for that, what is the definition of Aristotle about man? Man is a rational animal. Because we are animal and rational, we are the same. That is our person. But I can have a big animal, a small animal. I can have a very, very bright man, able to, or big memory, or great pianist. That is personality. Okay? Next page. So man knows he is an I. I know that I am an I. And the proof of that, since you have able to reflect, the age of reflection, what do you say? I. When you were not able to recognize you as an I, you said to your mother, Mary, Mary, Bobo, Mary, 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 Paul, 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 ice cream, Paul, ice cream. Not you say, I want ice cream. You know, I have a problem, I am hurt here. You know, that is the difference. And when I say I affirm I am a person. Every time you say je, I, yo, ego, you affirm that you are a person. And that person is permanent. Yourself, we call the self, is permanent. Because it is permanent, is responsible. You keep your identity all your life. You keep your identity all your life. You can change the picture of your ID card, but you are the same forever. The same. But you are the same as a person, but you can improve your personality. And the people will see you through your activities. So what appears to the other, it is not your I first. We know your I through your activities. That means I know you under the appearance of your personality. But I know that your personality is attached to a I. To I. Okay? If the I was changing, suppose the I was changing. My I when I was 10. My I when I was 11. My I when I was 30. That means what you did at the age of 10 is no more you. Is the whole I. No, you are not the whole I. Yesterday I changed my decade. Okay, I am now 80. Am I the same I?
Yeah.
Yes, my I did not change. My personality changed because now I instead of writing 7, I write 8. I am older, but my I does not change. It will never change. It is for all eternity. I will never change. The reason why I am always responsible for my past. My past actions are one with me. I will always carry what I did. They are attached to me, the good and the bad. Okay? Well, that is not again the forgiveness of God, of course. But even if God forgives me, suppose I kill someone, God forgives me, the family forgives me, but I will be for all eternity a killer. I cannot destroy the past. The past is past. And the past is attached to myself. So, the I is underlying the person. Is the foundation of all the rest. My person. My person is in fact like my substance, and all the rest is attached to my person. Okay? So I go just after that, number 2.5. So the I is the subject permanent. Now you understand the word subject, to be under. Your I, you say, I eat an apple. And the teacher at the 3rd grade asks you, what is I? And your answer, it is the subject. The subject. Then it under the fact you eat an apple. So the I, the person, is the foundation, permanent foundation of all your activities. All your activities, all your habit, all that perfect that person. But don't change it as a person. You are not no more a person because you are a saint or you are a gangster. You keep this, you are the same person. But your personality is different. So I am a conscious subject. I know who I am. I can recognize my identity. Here you see the extreme importance of memory. If you don't have memory, you can recognize your own identity. You cannot recognize your own I. What you did after before, because you lost memory, you don't know what happened. I thought that my confrère, he was my dean of studies in high school where I taught. He has a car accident the 5th of June, and of the 5th of June to the 26th of July, he forgot everything. He has no recognition of his own eye. His own eye disappeared for a time because he has no memory, and memory came back after. Okay? So the permanence, not only between I self and my activity, but also between myself and the activity of my past and the activity of my future. So not only I am aware of the present, what I am doing now, for example, I am teaching and you are studying, but you are also linked with the past and you are linked with the future. And we have the power to transcend, time and space. We have the power to pass, to go to the past and to go to the future. That is only because we are intelligent. Huh? We are spiritual, we can do that. Okay. In fact, the I am the same from conception to death. And now it's interesting, we have a scientific proof of that. And that scientific proof is the DNA. We have the same DNA, or chromosome. You know, somebody asked me, what argument I can give about homosexual who change sex? Will they become a woman or a man? They change. You say, can you change your chromosome? No. So you are forever a woman, or you are forever a man. Even if you have a surgery, you continue. You cannot change that. And that is my ID. The proof ideal is identity. What they do now, they take a little bit of DNA and they can see he is not responsible. It is your identity. So I am myself forever. And even in my body, I have that ID card. Today the ID card is not the plastic card, it's the ear, DNA. You take a little bit of your saliva and they analyze you, they see, and you did that because the same. On the, attached to the gun and is the same thing. Before it was the print, now it's DNA. It's better. Okay. I go next page, page 5. So what is the function of I? Oh, you remember the question I asked you? You have agent intellect, patient intellect. Therefore, you have two intellects. And you say, no, Father, I don't have two intellects. Yes, you say, I have agent intellect and patient intellect. What is the answer? I have one intellect with many functions. I have only one I with many functions. And that is interesting because the Greek were passionate by the problem of one and multiple. Is it possible that a multiple of activities be one? You know. So what makes me one? You know, I have one in myself, in the source of my activity, but I am multiple in my activity. That's interesting. Because when we study God, the philosophy of God, we study God can make a lot of things. He can create a mouse, he can create a volcano, there is no limit, no? Because the fact I have many activities, I have not many eyes. I have only one eye. So that means I can do many things. Your hand can do many things. Your eye is the responsible for all your activities. You eat. Who is eating? You say, brother, Father, is my body. No, it's not your body. It is your eye. In fact, do you say, my mouth eats, my ear listen? You say that? No, you say, I listen to you. I eat good soup. I touch the snow. And Vietnamese, they never saw snow. Well, the first time you will have snow, they will run out, try to touch the snow. Touch the snow. Now, to make a ball of snow, a ball of water. You can say to your aunt, I teach water. Okay, because the snow is water, no? Ah, water with many appearances, you know? Many appearances. So my eye is the same, but it can manifest its presence, its activity, its reality through many activities. Okay? Next, page 6. So the self-conscience of the I, and the fact I know that I am myself, made possible through its self-presence. And to know that I exist, I must think about myself. In fact, we don't think about yourself continually, but sometimes you think about yourself. For example, when you make an examination of conscience, what do? You reflect about yourself. So I have the power of the self-reflection. And self-presence is the result of its spiritual, intellective nature. I don't know if you noted when I taught you before intellection and volition. Sometimes I say, here is the proof of the spirituality of the human soul. Here, the proof of the spirituality of the human soul. In fact, the reflective power, because we are detached from any kind of, for abstraction, for example, any kind of matter, we arrive to a spiritual reality. We can reflect not only on what is the world, we can reflect on what we are. The power of reflection is characteristic of the human mind. And when I ask you the question about intellection, the agent intellect illuminates phantasm, and you receive that in your passive intellect. It is a reflection. A reflection. Okay? So number 3.4. The elusive and impalpable structure of the I is connected or associated by the very word of person itself. In fact, I told that to you. The I is my person. When you say I do that, it is the same if you say my person does that. But you don't say my person does that, you say I do that. But you do that as intelligent and free. Therefore, you are responsible for your action. You can say that is my reflection paper. That is my grade. Why? Because it's the fruit of the activity of your eye. No? and the right to, that is very important, it's the foundation of property is here. And the right to possess is here. Because I am the master of my activities. I am the master of the fruit of my activities, therefore it's mine, you know. I can say mine. My garden, my flowers, my tomatoes, my drawing, my beautiful, my. Yes. Why? Because I, the person, is the subject of all my activities. And the word person, now why we use the word person? In fact, person comes from personare in Latin. Sonare, it will produce a sound. Sonare. But in the old, if you go to Turkey or south of Italy or France somewhere, you have theater, Roman theater. They were in the hemicycle, like that. And the stage was here. In here you have up to 20,000 people. But there were no loudspeaker at that time. Loudspeaker did not exist. How it was possible that 12,000 people were able to understand what the people said here? So they used mask. In fact, the word persona in Latin means a mask. Why a mask? Because pers, true, and sonare, true. If I put my hand like that, how are you this morning? How are you this morning? Is the same? No, I channel the voice. So to speak in public like that, they have a mask. And the mouth here was like a loudspeaker. So when they talk, they were expressing, so people would be able to understand. So it was first person mean a mask. And the word persona was used first by Christians. Aristotle does not speak about persona. Plato never speak about that. But when they studied the nature of Jesus Christ, true God and true man, they have to study the person. One person, two nature. Or Trinity, two person, one nature. So the notion of person was, if you will, studied because of the necessity of expressing some dogma. And finally, that person was attached to the I, to the individual. So we don't speak now about individual, we speak about person. A person. Okay? I go to the text. Okay. In fact, interesting. When they have a mask and they play, the people did not know who was behind the mask. So the mask was hiding the actor. And in fact, the person was not attached to the actor, he was attached to what the mask was representing. And the actor was not known. The actor was a mystery. And the human person is a mystery. Can you know yourself perfectly? Can you know the I of your father, of your mother, the I of your sister? A large part of the human person is a mystery. Interesting. Yes, brother.
You know, when we talked about habits, we called them second nature.
Second nature, yes.
Could you make, as an analogy to try to explain the hypostatic union, could you say it like someone who can speak French and English, where it's like it's one person that they have two different habits and they can operate
yes,
both?
but it's more than a habit. The nature is it's more, because the nature must have something on there, you know. What is nature? It's essence as principle of activity. But I don't want to touch that, you know, because I'm not a theologian and I try not to walk on eggs. Okay, but you can discuss that with your eminent theologian. Okay? But your question is interesting because theology is using philosophy. When you study now the person, that will be used in theology for Christology, for our Holy Trinity, for ethics. All those notions we study in philosophy, they will come back. So is that the reason why philosophy is required by the Catholic Church to prepare for the theology? That is the reason. Of course, to form a man able to think, but also to give the concept, because if you don't have the concept, you will learn, but not correctly. Huh? Imagine the first year of medicine is to study the terms in medicine. 1 year they study. It's very important because when the surgeon will be on the table, he will ask the nurse, give me something, and the nurse or the doctor must know exactly. He has no time to check, wait a minute. No. And we must know those concepts. In fact, your question proves that philosophy is linked with theology. We cannot understand theology. And the first dogma of the church, in fact, they were questions about philosophy, about the human person, about the notion of nature. Even today, the problem of marriage, gay marriage, in fact, is the problem of nature. What is nature? Is nature depending on God or depending on myself? You know, I am, remember Jean-Paul Sartre. Huh? Jean-Paul Sartre. Existentialist, he said, I exist, I have existence, but I give myself my essence. You know, I give myself my essence. That means I make my own nature. Therefore, I have to obey not the nature outside of me, I have to obey my own nature. You know. Okay. Well, next page, page 7, person and personality. And now you have your paper on page 13. On page 13 and 14, in fact, is the summary of that. And if you look attentively to you, page 7, you have person, 3.5.1, and you have personality, okay? And every point from A to F correspond to A to F on side. So you can, you can read the text on 2 columns. So we have the person here and personality. Remember, personality is the person who qualified by habits, by virtues, etc. Here we have A, B, C, D, etc. Here we have A, B, C. Everyone corresponds to the other. Okay? Important. For example, what is a person? It made a basic structure of the individual which underlies all activity and which is properly the I of the person. Well, I explained that just before. Go to personality A. Personality refers to permanent acquisition, which are the result of the human activity. So they're different. The person is the I. The personality is made with the activities. And the person is the I here. And here the activity of the person. Etc. B. The person is invariable structure. Invariable structure. We are the same from the beginning to the end of our life. From the first cell. In the first cell we have already our ID card. Our DNA, our chromosome are in the first cell. Is the reason why from the conception I am a human being. Because I am a human being, I have the right to live. Yes?
At any point, was there like a definitive clarification as to when the soul informs the body?
Yes. We will say that next class, when it's the origin, I will speak about that. Exactly, the question you asked. Very good question. Okay, there's an invariable structure, and you see, go to B, the personality, is not the personal, but growth, progress, progress, growth, progress. We can progress in personality, we cannot progress in person. And my rights are based on my person, therefore my rights don't depend on my growth. If I grow in knowledge, I have the same right. If I have a doctorate in philosophy, I have the same right as the one who cannot read. The same thing. But I am not the same person. Okay? C. Answer the question, what? What I am, what a human is. And C, a question, who? Because the what does not change, the who change. I am not only what I am only what I do. In fact, the difference here, the what does not imply any activity, strictly speaking. Here, here's the definition, if you want, the definition. The definition is the essence as activity. So man as source of activity. My personality is growing. My personality is a kind. We don't have exactly the same kind of personality. For example, we put together those who are honest and outside those who are not honest, So those who are not honest, they are corrupted. They are not the same personality. They are not the same who are honest, who are dishonest. Okay? In fact, there is homogeneity, if you want, in the person. The what is the same, but here there is heterogeneity. Why? Because of the activities, because of the habit, etc. I continue. See, the I of the personality is the ultimate reality. Finally, I cannot go farther than I. There is no subject beyond under my I. My I is essentially subject. I am not in another. I am not in another. For example, my qualities of being a good golfer is in myself, is in my I. But my I cannot be in another. Yeah, a point of view we can say man is a kind of absolute. I cannot reside in another. I cannot be possessed by another. Okay? The I of personality refers to the special kind or quality of human being. So here, it depends on what orientation I take. If I am honest, or if I am not honest, if I am a sportman or not a sportman, etc. All those things are changing my personality, but my I is the same. Okay? For example, there was recently, they spoke about a footballer, the life of football. It would be in movie. But the footballer is a footballer for all his life? No. His I is the same. Of course, people would say, he is a footballer. He is 90 years old, he is a footballer. No, he was a footballer. Because to be a footballer is not your essence, it's not your I. You were a footballer, after that you were not a footballer. No? Are you a footballer forever? Of course, we qualify that man because he was a footballer when he was 30 years old. We say he is still a footballer. He is 95 years old. He is a pitcher. He was a very good pitcher. Yes, but he's no more a pitcher. He has difficulty to hold the spoon. But we say, you know. So in fact, we must be attentive that something in us cannot change, and something can change. But many times, that is interesting. We identify people not from their I, we identify people from their personality. No? Yeah. We identify people through their personality. Why? Because we see their activity before we see their I. And we don't speak about their person, we speak about the fact he is a good baseball player, he is a good politician, but in fact it is an I beyond. So we know things, we know persons through their activity. And that is a fact, no? It is a fact we know people as a baker, as a driver, as a hockey player, as an actor in Hollywood, as a teacher, as a pope. But the Pope Francis was not always a pope. He kept the same personality, but now we identify him as a pope. But what he was the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he was identified as. But you know, the functions, the operations, the activity change, but the I does not change. So we can improve our personality, or also we can lose our personality. Some people who are very well considered, suddenly we discover that they were not honest. I saw recently on television, former governor of Tennessee, I think, he was put into jail because he was recognized as corrupted, you know. So when he was the governor, he was a personality. Now he is behind bars, he has another personality, but it's the same, no? He's the same person, okay? When you look at yourself in your picture, you say, oh, I was an altar boy. Oh, look at that altar boy. Yeah, I was pious, or future priest, future bishop. Oh, yes. But now you are not, you are a student here. You are the same, but your personality is changing. No? Okay? We be most attentive to that because we are inclined to judge the value of a person to their personality, to their function. Of course, I have to respect Pope Francis. But I must be aware as a philosopher that Pope Francis has the same right as the little boy who sells newspaper on the street. Of course, as a Pope, he has special privileges, but as a human being, it's the same. We are the same, on the same level. And he tries, I received a picture, a very beautiful picture. He is taking his meal with the workers of the Vatican on the same refectory. The Pope is there and the worker, he talks with them. He is a human being. He tried to make people understand that he is equal. We are on the same level, children of God. We are human beings. Okay, continue. The I of personal only indirectly conscious. But my personality is conscious. In fact, my personality is worth what I am, worth my conscience. That means I am a personality in the measure I use my conscience. If you do something without using your conscience, consciousness, using what is not a human act. When you do something when you sleep, or you are drunken, or you are under drugs, never happened here, but sometimes happened in the world. For example, somebody takes a drug or too much pill to sleep, and he cannot control his car, he enters a store. That happened recently. Enter a store, or enter the crowd on the street, So that, if you do that consciously, you are responsible. But you can do that, let's say, unconsciously. If you do that unconsciously, you cannot apply that to yourself. So the difference is always in the fact that a human act to be attributed to my I must be known, must be well. And that, in fact, is difficult to separate the I of the person and the activities of the person, because the activity of the person are attributed to the I. But in fact, the activity of the person are not permanent, they are not the essence of the person. Suppose somebody is a good man, but suddenly he is furious, he takes a gun, he kills. He was pious, he would go to mass every morning, but he don't know he killed. Okay. His I is the same, but his personality is modified by an act of killing. The personality can evolve, can change, can be lost, can be modified. The I does not change. And that is important in the respect of the person. Is the reason why Saint Teresa of Calcutta created a community to take care of the dying. Because the dying on the street has the same value as the President of the Republic. She was aware that the I of the poor and the I of the President are on the same level. They have the same right. So they have the right to have a dignified death. And she has an institute for that first, to take care of the dying on the street. Okay? That chapter is very important because it is the foundation of the human rights. If you accept that, we accept that we are one, unique. We have the same right independently of our qualification, quantity, quality, color of the skin, black, white, yellow, etc., red. That we are bright or not bright, good, sportive or not. We are on the equal. But we can improve, and we must improve. We have the responsibility to develop our personality. In fact, our personality is the fruit of your work. The fruit. Even if your parent help you, you can't reject what your parent did for you. And you can't reject your education. For example, some parents are very good Catholic. They found their children are very pious. But when the child is 18 years old, 20 years old, he says, enough is enough, I don't want that, I don't want that. So that we can reject even what the personality was formed of what helped my own parents. Why? Because I am the first responsible of the development of my personality. I cannot attribute it to others. some philosophers, some pedagogues say, what the teacher does is nothing. What the student does is everything. That means you can have the best teacher if you don't want to assimilate, if you don't want to change your personality, because when you study, you change your personality. It's up to you, it's not because of the teacher. Finally, the first responsible of what you are, of who you are, it is yourself. It is yourself. Page 8. Well, I already spoke about the difference between person and personality. Okay? Even the language, personality, personhood, quality of a person. Okay? So a person possesses a personality, but nothing possesses a person. That is important because that is against slavery. It is also, I told you, when you are, somebody is the slave of addiction, slave of drug or slave of alcohol, slave of sex, slave of money, etc. They are possessed by that. They are not themselves. That is contrary to their nature. That is a sin. What is a sin? It is when I don't respect my own nature. Not respecting my own nature, I don't respect the author of my nature, that is God, you know. We cannot touch God directly. We touch God through the fact we don't respect our nature. And the encyclical of the Pope about ecology is about that, you know. We don't respect the nature of God, therefore we offend God. Suppose you produce a beautiful painting, beautiful landscape, and I arrive here with my marker. I say, "Oh no, that is not good." I destroy your painting, but destroying your painting, I offend you. No, I don't take my marker on you. Put a mustache to the sister here, huh? No, but I do that on you. Or if a mother is by his children, and somebody arrived and he hurt the children of the mother is hurt like that. You understand that? We cannot change God directly, but we offend God through destroying his nature. Okay? Next page, page 8. The fundamental distinction. Okay, so, okay, corollaries now. Personality is shared, common to all individuals. Personality is different. Okay. So that is the foundation of the profound dignity of the human person. Next page, page 9. So man is float free from, transcend. At the same time we are in nature, we are immanent, we are nature, and at the same time we have transcending nature. So we are above. So we can modify nature. And that is the problem today. Can we modify nature? God gave us the dominion of our nature, etc. I don't want to discuss that here. All that page is yellow. That page is very, very important. I don't have time to read all that, but I go to number 3.8. Man is a dynamic center or union with all that is. In fact, the center of the universe is man. Everything is for man, finally. Animals are for man. Resources are for man. Man has a big responsibility because he receives an important privilege. The privilege of being intelligent and being able to dominate nature. Okay? Dominate nature, not destroy nature, it's not the same. Man cannot be chained as an object of possession. So, and like man is able to communicate with all things. In fact, man is a marvel. He's a marvel. Biologically, man is a marvel, and spirituality, man is a marvel. You know, it's the reason why we study philosophical anthropology. I am sure and convinced that the most important chapter in all philosophy is not metaphysics, it is philosophy of man. Because we know metaphysics through man. It is through the knowledge of my person and the knowledge of my personality I know others, and knowing others I can generalize, and finally I can discover existence. How I can speak about a being as being if first I don't know that I exist myself. No? So philosophy of man is fundamental. Okay, page 10. To be a person is to have a personality. Huh? We possess, the I possess the personality. I possess the personality, but I don't possess myself. Nobody possesses himself. To possess yourself, you should be the author of yourself. Only God possesses. We are possessed by the cause who produces us, God, you know. So that we possess, I possess my personality. I have, for example, and the power of the capacity of playing the piano. I have the capacity of being honest. But I cannot possess myself, like I cannot possess another person. Okay? So habit is the basic. Okay, I go to page 11. So every person, I spoke already about that, every person is different from another, not only through quantified matter, but also through personality. There is no two identical personalities on earth, impossible. Every man has his own history. Every person has his own history. Unique, huh? And why? Because we are free. Because we are free, we take our own decision. Every person is different from another, not only through the fingerprint, not only through DNA, but through his own experience in life. And personality is made through our experience in life. So we have not a personality through hereditary, because my father was a pianist, I am a pianist. No, we have to acquire that. So we have, page 12, the master of our decision. In fact, finally, my personality is the fruit of what I do, the fruit of my own activity. Therefore, I am the first responsible of who I am. If I am honest, it is because finally, even if my parents were gangsters, I can become honest. There is no determinism because I am free, I have the power to direct my destiny. And my destiny is meant by myself. Not everything, of course. I cannot control my diseases, my sickness, my old age. But what I am doing, all my activity that make my personality, all my activity are coming from myself. If I am a saint, it's not because I enter a good community of sisters. And the other is not a saint because he entered in community and it's not a saint. No. I am a saint because I work with the grace of God to improve my personality. Okay, next class we'll begin on the consequence of that distinction between personality and personhood or person.